So without any further delay, we invite Deepa to start her presentation. I'll give a very short introduction. Uh, Deepa Chaudhary, we got introduced to Deepa Chaudhary thanks to one of the speakers from our Lucknow conference, um, Ashi, Ashish Arora, who had spoken with us from Himachal. He introduced us to Deepa, and we had a really good conversation when Deepa and I had our first chat. And she was so excited, saying that this is I have been I've been using AI tools very aggressively, very effectively for my own work, and she wanted to share how she's using it and how all of us could also benefit from that. Deepa's been a social entrepreneur. She's worked in the social space while she was in India and has continued to work while she now resides in Canada as well. Uh, she's also built a very interesting platform for non-profits or NGOs who spend a fair amount of time writing good quality proposals, grant proposals, and so on. And her pitch is that with her platform you can significantly cut down the effort and time needed to come up with a very good winning proposal. So we'll get a peek into that as well. And with that, I think I'll hand it over to you, Deepa, so you can take over. And we've got about an hour's time, so feel free how you wish to use it. Over to you.
Great. Thank you so much for the introduction, and I'm really excited to be here. The moment Chaitanya said that he wants to introduce AI to people on the ground doing actual work, I got really excited about it because it's always my dream to empower people who are doing grassroots level work and to give them the knowledge and the skills of using technology to do good. So to give a little bit background, I started my journey in social good from Mumbai. I'm a graduate of Tata Institute of Social Sciences. I co-founded United Way Mumbai, which is now a fairly large organization, but it was just a two-people team when we started it. And I totally understand the struggles of working in a small organization and what it takes. We are juggling with multiple tasks and doing so much with very little resources that when AI came into the picture in 2022, I got really excited about it. I'm like, this changes the game for people like us who work with limited resources because now it gives us the superpowers to do so much more. And we don't have to have big budgets, but we can do far more with very little. So yeah, that what drew me into AI in 2022 when ChatGPT launched. But I've always worked at the intersection of technology and social impact. Before that, I worked with Salesforce Foundation in Singapore. I was leading the philanthropy for Asia Pacific, donating technology to NGOs, just getting them to use cloud technology, which was very new at that point of time. And one realization that I had when I was working with Salesforce is that if the technology is not simple enough, it doesn't get adopted. So even though we were giving out a lot of technology for free, nonprofits were struggling on using it. And that's always stayed with me over the years. And now that I finally launched a AI-powered platform to enable change makers, that was something that I kept in mind, that it has to be really simple, like a no-brainer, no learning curve involved. And that's another thing that excites me about AI is that it's a very simple technology. We don't need to learn how to use AI technically. Like we just have to talk to it and just learn the art of talking to it. It's like a really dumb assistant. You need to give them step-by-step instructions. Otherwise, it just doesn't do the work the way you expect it to it. So you have to imagine that it's really dumb but highly intelligent. So you have to instruct it in a way that it follows the instruction, but then it'll be in the quality of answers and the knowledge it has is really, really superior. So I know this is your day two, and I'd like to share a deck that I have about AI, and I know you already have a fair bit of knowledge about what this technology is all about. Let me- can you see my screen? My screen is visible, right? Just
Yes, yes, ma'am.
confess. Okay, great. Let me make this a slideshow so you can. So yeah, this image that I created that you see here, it literally took me a second to create this image. Well, what it really says is that it gives us the superpower to do more. Like we can do things that we couldn't imagine before. It enables us to do 10 times more with very little effort and without feeling burnt out. And that's what we needed always as change makers. This is a little bit about me. As I said, I founded Unite Way Mumbai. I worked with Salesforce Foundation. I also worked with another nonprofit in Singapore. It's called the World Toilet Organization. They took on the task of um, creating awareness about lack of sanitation, that 2.6 billion people don't have access to toilets. And I was leading their fundraising efforts. Sitting in Singapore, I raised money from Rockefeller Foundation, Ford Foundation, Government of Singapore. So I've got tons of grant writing experience. Also, when I was with United Way, I've done lots of grant writing and allocating funds and assessing projects. So, as small organizations, you end up doing almost every every little thing by yourself because we don't have people for different tasks. So just 2 or 3 people manage almost the whole game. Um, and so you've already got a fair bit of understanding of what is generative AI. It is basically AI has always been around, but the new frontier of AI is generative. It is based on large language models that have been trained on all of humanity's data. Since the dawn of the internet, all the information that we have put up on the internet has been used to create these large language models. And not just the data from the internet, but also there are villages that are populating data. And now AI is creating data for these large language models. It's called synthetic data. So there's so much knowledge that's pumped into these large language models. You can think of them as a computer brain, just like a human brain. And it requires a lot of skill to be able to retrieve the information from these computers, this large language model. And there's a whole field of it which is called prompt engineering. It is a science. There are research papers coming out almost every day about how do we get these large language models to do things. It's great for chatting and seeking information, but when we want them to do tasks like complicated, complex tasks, there is a lot of prompt engineering behind it. And there are researchers studying this computer brain and trying to figure out how do we get them to do that. And so the next year, like 2025, there's a lot of talk about AI agents where there will be these agents that will be able to take actions on behalf of humans. We just have to instruct them, like book us a flight, and it'll probably go and research the flights and give you like 3 options. And then you say, okay, book me this flight, and it'll go and actually do the booking for you. But there will always be a human in the loop instructing how to go about it. So I won't go into these details, but it takes a lot of you have to train these models and there's a cutoff date and the training is highly expensive. And then when you have to serve the knowledge, that's another task altogether. And the way the chief scientist at OpenAI, which is the company behind ChatGPT, describes large language models is think of them as the zip file of the internet. All of the internet has been taken and put into these models. And one beautiful thing about these models is that you can not only just chat with it through text, but you can also talk to it. It's or you can show images, and they understand all different forms of human communication, and they will communicate back to you in human language. Now that's incredible because we don't have to learn the language of the computers. The computer has learned the human language, so it makes interaction really, really easy. And for the end users, it feels like magic. but inside there's actually linear algebra and a lot of computational stuff that's happening. But for the end user, people like us, it's like, wow, like I just spoke to AI in Marathi, and it gave me a response back in English. If you said that, give me a response back in English. So the translations are like instantaneous. You don't have to, there's not even it's like so quick, like translations, transcribing, those kind of things are like totally a no-brainer for these language models. So I know you've already heard of ChatGPT. That was the first one that introduced us to generative AI, but I just wanted to give you a big landscape overview. That besides ChatGPT, we also have Gemini, which is part of Google, and we have Meta AI, which is inside WhatsApp or Facebook. We have Claude, which is by Anthropic, the company. And I use Claude quite a bit more than ChatGPT. I started off using ChatGPT, but now my favorite is Claude. I feel it's more human-like in its responses, and it can do almost everything that ChatGPT can do. And there's another one by X, which is Twitter. It's called Grok, and Grok is also a chatbot. You can chat with it, and it can also generate images, which is great. And it's excellent for doing research. So the way the Grok AI bot works is that provides real-time information. So as I said, like most of these large language models have a cutoff date. They train on the data, and they after that they don't train for, say, maybe 2 years or 3 years, and then they update it once again. But Grok uses something called RAG, and so the information that it gives you is real time. Like if you ask Grok, tell me about all the climate events that have happened this morning, I'll give you a nice summary of everything that's happened to this time. So that's about just the chatbots, like these are chatbots are like chat applications, which is an interface to these large language models. But besides that, we have models to create images, videos, songs, and I use almost all of them. So DALL-E is inside ChatGPT, so you can create images with ChatGPT as well. And I saw like on WhatsApp, like tons of images being shared. So that's great. Like everybody's got a hang of it. Midjourney is another incredible one that I use Midjourney quite a bit because it is more, it's just nicer. Like it's an image model. It's trained on images. That's the focus, and it does an excellent job with it. I can show you, give you a glimpse of Midjourney after this. And Grok is also great at generating images, which is the Twitter's AI. So if you have like a subscription to Twitter, then you automatically get access to the AI as well. And you can do research, you can chat with the bot, and you can generate images. And the images are like highly photorealistic. So I create videos as well for my product, like all my product demos. I barely do live recording. I just use my images and I animate them and create videos. But very soon, we will be able to create Hollywood level videos just from our computers. Luma and Runway ML, and there are a couple of more other video creation platforms. Right now, the maximum limit is like 30 seconds, but I think in the following year, in 2025, we'll be able to create videos like 2 or 3 minutes long. So if you want to communicate a cause using video, high caliber, like really high quality video, literally Hollywood, Bollywood style, we just have to describe with text what is it, what scene that we want to create, and it'll create it for us. So we don't need to have any technical skill set. So that's another beautiful thing about AI is that it democratizes access, and you don't to be able to do anything because you don't need to have any particular skill sets anymore. Like you can be a music producer, a video producer, a grant writer, anything you want, as long as you can communicate with the AI what is it that you are looking for. So I think that's important. And Suno.ai is great for music, and Udio is another one. Maybe I can make you listen to some of the tracks that I have created. So AI literally gives us the superpowers to do almost everything. Like we can run a whole organizations using AI. And at our startup, because I work with two AI engineers, my background is not in engineering, but I have always worked at the intersection of technology and social impact. And I have two AI engineers who are basically just deep into this space. And every time I go to them with questions, they're like, have you chatted with AI first? So they've really helped me build my AI muscle. Initially, I almost gave up on ChatGPT because it was not able to give me the answers the way I was expecting it. But they were like, no, you got to build it in your have it in your system, like before you come to ask for any problems, you got to go and check with ask ChatGPT first because it has all the solutions. And still, if your question is unanswered, then come to us. So any technical stuff, like anything, I just go to ChatGPT for it. So these are some of the images that I have created. I just wanted to I'm very active on social media like LinkedIn and X, and I create images around for my blog. I have a AI for nonprofits blog on LinkedIn. So I create images for my blog. I create images sometimes to just, talk about a cause. So I wanted to create an image like just to show, there's literally a smoke on the other side in the city and people are chilled and relaxed and swimming. Like basically just a thought-provoking image about climate change. So this is what I created using Grok. And this is just to show you the interface of what Midjourney looks like. So I wanted an image for an article that I was writing on generative AI, and I wanted to create an image of a farmer, like a futuristic farmer, and I used Midjourney to create that. And with Midjourney, they always give you three image options. I think they give you four. And then if you don't like one, then you can iterate on the prompt and improvise on it. And all this happens in a matter of seconds. Now imagine like if we didn't have access to this, how hard it would have been to create graphics for anything. Like at United Way, remember struggling with creating graphics for our organization. Like we were always doing fundraising campaigns and just like we were good at like formulating the concept and stuff like that. But whenever we needed help for creating graphics, we just didn't have that skill set internally, and giving it out to anybody else was so expensive. Like as a small organization, we couldn't afford it. But now, like if I need to create a graphic for my blog, it just takes me a second. And to iterate on it is pretty fast. Like if I don't like it, I just improvise on the prompt. Or one more great thing about Midjourney is because it's a social experience of creating, if you find other, like it's like a social network, so you can see the images that the others have created. And if you like any of the images that others have created, you can reuse that prompt. So you don't have to start from scratch. You can reuse the prompt and then improvise on it. So that's why I kind of like Midjourney a lot. I don't have to always think of the base prompt. So these are some of the images that I have created, like this graphic, like write grants like a pro. I used ChatGPT to create that. Um, these are some of the images for my blog, like this one. I don't know if you heard the Trump speech once. He was talking about how, like in America, we need to save cats. So it was like the moment where he had just spoken in one of the debates, and I wanted to take that and talk about like save cats and save farms, and I was actually writing for my blog. So that was my blog image. So again, it opens up different forms of visual communication. You're not limited to just a certain type of art. You can create anime. You can create cartoon style. This is a photorealistic image that I created. This is again, like I had to conduct a session for this social enterprise forum. And I was talking about AI and I needed an image for the event page. And so I just created one uh, for that event. So it's pretty magical because you can do all of this thing in a matter of seconds, and you don't have to always seek help. You can do it yourself. Like I think we are entering that age where we can do almost everything ourselves. Like as a small team, we can just do everything without having to spend a lot of money getting stuff done. So how to create I mean, this is something that I've learned a lot with experience, but reusing prompt like Midjourney and Ideogram is another one for creating images. You can reuse other people's prompts. If there's an image that inspires you and want to create something similar, you can reuse that. You can also use AI to craft prompts, because AI, the way I work is that if I have an idea in mind, I discuss it with the chatbot, like say ChatGPT, and I say, this is the blog I'm writing about, and I would love to create an image. Can you? And then we have like a back and forth conversation. It's like having a conversation with a friend. But think that friend is like super intelligent in all domains, not just one domain. So after that, you can probably say, okay, help me think of an image. Now, can you craft a prompt for me for to instruct an AI to generate an image, and it'll give you a prompt, and that prompt will always be superior to the prompt that you will think of. So it'll talk about more details, like this is how the sky should be, or because creating AI art is literally like, imagine you have to describe a scene to the painter, like, I want an image to be created, and this is how the sky should look, this is where the person should be sitting, this is where um, the what should be in the background. You got to give all the instructions if you want the output to come out the way you have imagined. And so you can use the chatbot's help in crafting prompts as well. Another great feature. So this is like a image that I created about an article that I wrote on AI and democracy. And look how big my prompt is. It's like literally a story in itself. And I did tell ChatGPT that I want to, you know, show ancient and modern, like a fusion of that, because Athens was the place for a direct democracy. But I want that like a futuristic where AI is like informing people about these are the different candidates that are there for elections, and just give people who are coming to vote all the information right when they are standing in the line to vote, so they have every knowledge that they know before they cast their vote. So this was a very long prompt, and I got like 4 variations out of Midjourney, and I used this one. And again, out of the 4 variations, they were all equally good, and I was confused which one to use. I actually fed in two of my favorite ones to ChatGPT, and I said, which one do you think will be the best for my article? And ChatGPT said this one, because the AI is kind of like uh, it's it's fitting into the environment rather than like standing out. And so it gave me like a whole analysis of why I should go with this image. As against the other image. So again, like this was for one of my social media messaging. Like I wanted nonprofits to think that they are not limited by their ability anymore, and that they can actually aspire to write 1,000 grants a year, because it doesn't take much time and effort to write grants. And this was my like I obviously iterated on it number of times. This is what I got on my sixth try. And what I instructed ChatGPT was like, change the background to a dense field of wildflowers, shot from the top, make the vines wrap around the letters 1,000 grants. So you've got to like really give very specific instructions to actually have the output that you've imagined. So AI is also great at image analysis, as I just said, because it understands all forms of human communication. I use image analysis all the time. Like, for my blog that I just explained to you, if I have 2 or 3 images that I want to use, I just give it to Claude or ChatGPT and just ask them to suggest which one I should use. But you obviously have to give them the context, what purpose you're going to be using it for, so it can help the AI understand the context and then recommend which one to use. And so this is really great when you are going to be writing your impact reports, or you need like more compelling visuals for your blog or for your social media or for your website. You can always like feed in those images and ask them to recommend. You can also ask the chatbots to generate captions for those images. You not just recommend which one, but you can say, give me a one-line compelling caption for this image, or an inspiring quote. So I'll just give you examples of that. But this is, I wanted to show you before I move to that. This is like, a parking sign, like for in front of a school, which had like multiple signs, like you can park from this time to this time, and like it was so confusing for a human being to understand. And there's this person, Peter Yang, he actually fed this sign into ChatGPT and said, it's Wednesday at 4 p.m. Can I park at this spot right now? Tell me in one line. And ChatGPT like took a second and said, yes, you can park for up to 1 hour starting at 4 p.m. So it just is so quick because it's a computer brain. It can do things faster than a human brain, like 1,000 times faster. So, but again, look at his instruction. It was very specific. Tell me in one line. But if he had not said that, and if he would have not said it's Wednesday at 4 p.m., but if he would have just shown the sign and said, tell me if I can park, then the chat GPT would have actually read out every sign to you, and it would have been an open-ended thing because you would have to then decide whether to park or not. But because he asked ChatGPT, he gave them a very specific instruction. It gave a very specific answer back. Like he wanted to know if you could park. It's Wednesday at 4 p.m. Like the context was given, everything. So that helps in getting specific response back. This is another one. Like I was at the farmers market and I took a picture of whatever was available on the stand, and I gave this to Grok, and I said, "Can you suggest a recipe out of these vegetables?" And one thing great with AI is that spelling mistakes are totally fine. AI will understand it, so you don't have to every time correct your spellings, even if the spellings are wrong. So my recipe spelling, maybe it's right, but yeah. But anyway, so it gave me like this really great recipe, and I actually tried it and it was great. So it can do all kinds of things that we have to now start exploring great ways of using AI because it has all these capabilities. So this is another image that I generated. And I asked the chatbot to give me 3 inspirational quotes, and it gave me 3 inspirational quotes. So this could be really handy for you all again, like if you, for any of your marketing material, like if you want inspiring quotes, or you can say quotes of, a quote that goes with this image, provide some quotes, or a title for this image, AI can generate pretty quickly. And it can give you options, like you can say, give me 10 or give me 3 or 5, like you can instruct the AI. This is a nonprofit that I've been following since the start of 2022 when Midjourney came out, and they've been using AI images to promote their cause. They set up pop-up villages all over the world, inviting change makers to come and spend like a month and hack together on ideas. And so they use a lot of inspiring imagery, and all of this is created with AI to just get folks excited about what they're doing. So fundraising with AI is is something that I'm really excited about because grant writing is so grants are a very important source of income for nonprofits, right? Like this is where most of our money comes from. I know there are different ways to fundraise, like you can have people donate on your website, or you can do crowdfunding campaigns, but grants is where the most of the money to support our causes come from. Like that's been my experience as a fundraiser with small NGOs. I've always focused on grants because I knew that's where the chunk of the money is going to come from, and so we need to like hyper prioritize where we can focus our efforts. And when I was able to create these images in 2022, I've been using Midjourney since then. I was really like I was like, wow, like I was never be able to create anything because creating visuals was always a handicap for me. And I felt liberated that now I can create stuff in microseconds, and I can, I just have to give broken sentences. I don't even have to perfect my English. Like I could just say, cat flying air, and it'll just create an image for me. And I'm like, how can we apply this technology for the nonprofit space? And that's when I kind of contacted a couple of my friends, and they were engineers, and I'm like, how can we do this? And grants is what came to my mind. I'm like, so much of our time goes sitting and writing grants and then grant reports, because once we get the money, sometimes the donor wants us to submit reports every quarter, And so it takes so much of a valuable time that very little time is left for the real work. So I wanted to really solve that problem. And that was my origin story for Grant Orb. And grant writing came naturally to me, like I've done so many times. But I started looking around, like I was on in middle, I was involved with Web3. And I saw like a lot of people in Web3. They have crowdfunding campaigns and they had to submit grants. And I started looking around and I'm like, people aren't communicating their ideas well. Like they're not talking about the specifics. And so it's really a problem. Like people have great ideas, but they're not able to communicate well. So maybe it is a specialized skill at the end of the day to be able to communicate your project ideas in a more compelling fashion. So there was a real gap, and AI is pretty compelling. And so we built out GrantOrb, which is I can give you a demo and we can create a whole grant in like 5 minutes, literally. But it's as simple as describing your project and generating an entire proposal just from a brief description of your project. So maybe what I'll do here, actually, I'll come back to the GrantOrb demo in a bit. I just want to finish off with how this is just our flow of GrantOrb, but I'll give you a demo of that. But I wanted to also show you how I actually use AI to create all my product demo videos. So, like we built this product, but there's so many great features that I wanted to create lots of micro videos to talk about how you can update your grant proposal with AI, how you can write reports with AI, how you can create grant proposals, and all the different little features that we have. And so I started using this service. It's called HeyGen. And what it does is it takes your image and it animates the image. So you don't even have to have a camera or record your voice or anything. All I have to do is type my script and it will convert my text into audio. And I also gave them a little bit of my voice sample, so it kind of matches my voice. Um, Maybe I can play this a bit. Let me know if you can hear the sound. I'll play a little bit of this just to show you what it is like. Are you able to hear the sound of this?
We can't hear the sound, Deepa.
Sorry, was the sound clear?
No, we can't hear the sound from your YouTube
Oh,
video.
okay. I just wanted to, let me do one thing. I want to share the sound share. Okay, I will go back to sharing my slide screens. Okay. Let me know if you can hear it this time.
Grant reports that impress.
Yes.
Click on Create a Grant. Select the grant report from the drop-down menu in the Grant Wizard. Use the Grant Wizard to enter project update. You can also...
So I'll just pause here, but what I'm trying to say is that I didn't really speak any of this. They have a workflow where you can just type your script so you can be highly precise. Like there is no post editing. Generally, what happens when we have to record videos for anything, for social media or for product demos or something, you will do recording. And later you will go and edit and you will remove all the filler words, and editing itself takes about 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours, depending upon how good you are with editing, or you might have to outsource editing to somebody else. But here you edit while you record literally. And this is a static image of mine, like it is a picture and it animated my picture. So the lip syncing and the eye movement, everything is done by AI. And they use this technology called text to speech. So you just type and it converts the words into audio. So this is all done by AI. And this is what the flow looks like in the end. I took screenshots of that. Like you just type out what you want to say. And one great thing is that you can translate this in different languages and it's instantaneous. Like I could have this video in French, in Chinese, so you can reach different demographics. I don't think in India we have that issue, like or actually yes, maybe, because if you are working pan India and you want to talk to your Tamil population or Marathi, then I'm not sure if they have. I think they have Tamil, but they don't have Marathi. So they have lots of global languages, and Hindi is obviously there, but they have Tamil as well, but they don't have other dialects of India right now. But maybe there will be an app which is very India specific, and then you can do quick translations. Like it's instantaneous. Like the whole video will be then spoken in that language. This is another one that I wanted to talk about. So as I said, I was in Web3 for a bit and I studied DAOs, which are like decentralized autonomous organizations. I did a research in that and I wrote a book. And after that, I actually created a course on how to start internet native organizations. And when Notebook LM came out, which is a product by Google, it's a pretty young product, I think only maybe less than 6 months that it's been out for. What you can do with Google Notebook LM is that you can share any of your knowledge with that AI, and it instantaneously, not instantaneously, but it takes about 3 minutes or 4 minutes to convert it into an audio file, which is highly engaging. So it's literally like having a podcast. So and it's a really great product because sometimes there are research about our industry, like there's a research on immunization best practices, and it's very dense and complex and too much data that we never have time to really sit down and dig in deep. So what you could do is you can just share the PDF file, or you can, even if there's a website which has all the details, you can share the link, and Notebook LM will convert it into a podcast or that you can listen to. And once you get interested in the topic and you understand the topic, then you can also chat then with the document that you've shared, and you can ask more deeper questions. So it's like chat with PDF kind of a thing and a podcast. So I can make you listen to this as well. These are two AI hosts talking to each other. And
have you heard about Ukraine DAO?
They used the power of the internet to raise $7 million in just 5 days to support their fight for freedom.
Wow.
That's the potential of impact DAOs, and we're diving deep into how they work, their impact, and how you can even get involved.
Ukraine DAO is a powerful example
of how quickly these decentralized organizations can mobilize.
So this is like a 16 minutes long podcast. And I had created like a 6-step course on teaching people the basics of impact DAOs. So I basically took all my the modules, I put it in one file, converted into a PDF, and shared it with Notebook LM. And in about 3 or 4 minutes, it converted into this podcast. So I went back to all my people who were participants of my course and also on social media, and I went to share this link saying, hey guys, you can now listen to it as a podcast, and I actually have plans to launch a podcast which will be completely generated by AI using Notebook LM on social good topics that interest me. So, in the future, like I think because AI is a great content creation machine, like curation will become very important, like curating out of all the content that's available, like taking actually humans being involved in curating like what is really good content, and then surfacing that kind of content. So you can use, something like Notebook LM to launch a podcast. You don't have to have live people discussing. It kind of reverses the game. When you have podcasts, then you transcribe it and you blog about it. But how about you take already the knowledge that exists in words, put it out as podcast, and that's kind of reverses the game for podcasting. So that's about Notebook LM, and it's a really great tool because there's so much research in the social impact space, and very few of us actually use evidence-based practices when we are doing grassroots work, and we are reinventing the wheel all the time. But there's so much already research that's published and out there. But what if we can now, with the help of these tools, we can quickly understand that research. We don't have to spend hours trying to read it and then apply that research to our programs. It will just make it so much more effective. rather than, doing it all over again.
Have you?
So it's really great. Like the other things that you could do with Notebook LM or the tool that I shared before that, which creates videos, is, you can have all your HR policies if you are in an organization and you actually have policies and stuff converted into audio files. That's really nice to listen to. Or your volunteer onboarding, anything that's heavy and dense to read, you can have it in a more engaging manner and present it to the people to absorb that information faster. This is again a song that I created on Grant Orb. So again, my AI engineers got me into the AI music scene. I was one day just listing out all the key features that Grant Orb has, and I was going to put it out as like 10 facts about Grant Orb. And they're like, why don't you write a song about it, or like make an AI song about it? I'm like, okay. And so what they literally did was they took that 10 facts, put it into ChatGPT and said, hey, in the style of so and so artist, write the lyrics. And it wrote like a whole lyrics for me. And I actually took the lyrics and put it into Suno.ai, and I just prompted like I wanted like hip hop style, and it created like a whole song, actually 2 tracks for me, and you could choose which track is better. And I created this image using Midjourney because I wanted a different kind of image, and I can make you listen to the song as well. Sorry.
I got a story to tell about Grant Orb, the tool that'll serve you well in the world of grants. It's a crazy mess, but this AI's got the key to success. It's like magic, yo, how it gets things done. Writing proposals faster than a speeding gun. Any topic, anytime, it's always ready.
Anyway, so this is one song that I created. I need to go and show you. This is the lyrics basically of that song. And I recently created another one. I was invited to talk about AI to a nonprofit group in the US. And I created the song like just 2 minutes before the session was about to begin. And this is just about why nonprofits should use AI.
Do more with AI. Amplify your impact, watch it multiply. Do more, it's not a lie. AI and nonprofits are powerful ally. Do more with.
So yeah, that goes on. So again, I used AI to create AI. So I didn't write the lyrics at all. I just told Claude, this time I used Claude, and I just explained to Claude that this is what I want to write a song about. Like I want to encourage nonprofits to use AI. Like in the US, for some reason, they're still like, oh, should we use AI? Like they're still contemplating. And I'm like, don't you get it? We should be using AI. Like they're kind of fearing the technology. And I'm like, this is our best friend actually, because we were always limited by resources, and now we are not, So I wanted to write like a encouraging song for them. So I kind of guided Claude the way I wanted it to be, and it created the lyrics. And I just went and created the song in Suno.ai. So yeah, this image again is generated by Grok. Grok is very good at putting text on the images. So it's really, really consistent. So act now, that text is also written by AI on the image. So you just have to say, create an image and say this on top of the image or on the side or in a certain style. You can mention the style in which you want the text to be written. So yeah, what I just want to say is that we are very early in AI right now. Like this is just maybe the real first year of AI. I know it has been around for 2 years now with the launch of ChatGPT, but like this has been actually the very first year of AI, in terms of all the momentum and the building and just awareness about it, and application in our everyday work. And what's really important is to build the AI muscle. So it will not come naturally. I know all these tools are available and we'll be like, okay, we'll use it, but we have to make a conscious effort to use it because it will not happen automatically. So maybe like whatever you're planning to do, think of doing it with AI, like have that person, have AI as a partner in everything that you're trying to do. Ask AI first, if every time you have a question and you have the urge to go to your colleague and ask for something, ask AI first, and in that way, when you start interacting with AI on a daily basis, you will automatically build your AI muscle and get better and better at it. So yeah, that's with my presentation here, but I would love to show you Grant Orb. Let me go back to Zoom and share. So you can see my you can see Grant Orb, right? Nice. Is that the screen? I guess so. Let's try to see a share. So yeah, this is the world's first AI grant writer. And I wanted to bring the same Midjourney experience to writing grants, just the way in Midjourney or in Grok or in ChatGPT, you can create images in microsecond. And it's not an easy task. Like if you had to create those images by hand, it would probably, you will not be good at it, or it will take you days and weeks and months, depending upon the complexity of it. So I wanted to bring the same magic to grant writing, where you can go from just a brief description to a full proposal in minutes. So if you go here, this is where all the magic lies, the grant wizard. Say you come up with a project idea, like whatever you're seeking funding for. Say there's an application that you need to fill, or you need to submit a grant proposal to somebody for getting funding for your project. So maybe let's say you want to start a mobile library kids in Mumbai. And you can provide more details. You can say that would visit. You think of this box right here as like a dumping your thoughts about the project that you want to raise money for. It can be more than this sentence, like I just said, start a mobile library for kids in Mumbai, but you can say that will provide more details, whatever you've thought about it, like that will, visit 5 neighborhoods, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting from so and so, like whatever are the specifics around the project, you can put it there. Or if you have already like jotted down those thoughts on a different document, you can attach a file here. But anyways, let's just start with this. Start a mobile library for kids in Mumbai. Starting. Let me just say that. And I go and say, create an outline. And what AI does is it takes this information that I just provided, and it will create, this template that you see here is a winning grants template. Like it's a proposal template. Every proposal will have describe the problem that you're trying to solve. What is the solution for it? What's your goals and objectives for it? What's your plan of action? Like if you're submitting, if you're requesting for funds from anyone more than like you're asking for a certain amount, which is significant amount, whether it's an individual donor or it's an institutional donor or a corporate donor, they would want to see a proposal. They would want to see how you're going to spend that money and what will be the outcome of that, of that project. So and what will happen to it once the grant period is over. So these are all the questions they ask. And team members, I can just say, uh, and partnerships. So team is something that you have to just copy and paste that information. Like if you, who are the people from your organization that will be involved, you can just copy paste that information here. And there's a line item budget. So we generate like a complete list of all the related expenses that will come in delivering this project. We don't put an amount next to it because it will differ from city to city or place to place. But what we do is we give you a list of all the expenses that would go in executing this project. And you can put your organization information here, wheels on I'll just put a little bit, but this is something that you can copy paste and just enter the information about your organization, your past track record, what you've done, just to establish your competency in delivering this project. And if you're applying to a specific donor and they have eligibility criteria, like a lot of donors would have, they would say you need to be a registered NGO, you need to be operating in the, we can only fund programs that help children or women or whatever is the eligibility criteria. You can either copy paste or you can attach a file that lists down the eligibility criteria so you can do a quick check to see if this proposal is in alignment with that. And we show you in red or green color whether it's aligned or not aligned. Like if it's red, it's completely not aligned. If it's green, and there are different shades of green, like light green is and we'll give you like a one-line summary. There is an alignment, but you haven't mentioned anything about so and so that's mentioned in the eligibility criteria. So it's an opportunity for you to go back and strengthen your proposal outline. But this is just an outline. Once you're done with that, you can say, I'm ready to generate the grant proposal. One more thing that we've done here is that you can write this proposal in any language. You can write this in Hindi, Marathi, any language, and I'll generate in English as long as this box is checked, generate in English. So it removes language as a barrier because a lot of grant submissions or applications, they expect you to submit in English. English has been the language. And for many of us, English is not our first language. So if we are not comfortable with English, you can put your information in the wizard in whichever language you're comfortable in. It'll fill out the outline in that language, which you basically read and just make sure that it is in alignment with the project that you plan to implement. If there are any tweaks you need to make here, you can make those changes here. And once you've done with that and you're satisfied with this outline, then you go down and you just generate it in English. And so the AI reads this information that gets auto-populated. And once you fix it and you are happy with it, then you just go here and say, create the grant proposal. And the AI takes about 3 minutes to write this whole grant proposal down. Now, doing this traditionally would take you anywhere from 30 to 50 hours, depending upon the complexity of the grant that you like. Just computing what the deliverables for the project will be or what the impact is going to be, it takes time. I've done this work many times, so I know like how I had to just anticipate. It's all about like thinking about the impact that the project will make. But now I don't have to because AI already knows based on the nature of the project that I'm going to be doing that this is what the impact is going to be. And all the only things that you need to really be fixing it or be making sure it is in alignment is to ensure that the numbers are correct, like the goals and objectives are is what you what you plan to achieve basically. So those are just the figures that you need to adjust in the outline stage. This is a plan of action. These are the project deliverables, the timelines and milestones. It comes up like again, this is something if at the outline stage, when it creates the outline for the proposal, just make sure that it is in alignment with your plan of implementation, and you can fix it at that point of time. So it will be exactly what you have. Partnerships, impact, what will be the evaluation, the metrics for measurement of the success of this program, the plan for future funding, it does a line item budgeting, so it'll give you, these are all the related costs for executing this project. You've got to just cost it out. Obviously, as I said, we don't provide the associated costs because it changes based on where you are. What are the risks and challenges, the organizational information. And if you want to make any changes to this, because say this is just your first draft and you discuss it with the team and you want to make changes to any of these sections, you can just come and update these sections here. Like say you want to add some more stuff to the problem statement, you can add here, or wherever you want to make changes, just whichever section you want to make changes, you can do it here. And it will, once you're done, you can just go back down here and say, I'm ready to generate the grant proposal, and it'll update the whole proposal for you. And you can see all the versions will appear on the top. Sorry, let me just go back. All the versions will show here like 1, 2, 3, 4, as many updates you've made, and you can see the changes that you've made. So it's all powered with AI. Once you're done, once you're happy with it, you can copy the entire text out, like copy it and put it in Google Docs if you want to, or if you're submitting like an online application, then you can just go section by section, and copy to clipboard is an option, and you can copy and paste it in that application form. What we've also done is we've trained an AI to create custom templates, because every donor has their own application form. So even though I showed you like a winning proposal template, like these are the set of questions that the donors will ask, but sometimes they have their own order or their own wording. They might, instead of saying problem statement, they'll say describe the problem or something like that. And you want to have a form that exactly looks like that organization's application form. So we've trained an AI to do that as well. It can create custom forms. And once the form is here, like this is a box impact fund, actually, I would highly suggest that you should apply for this. The due date is December 9th. It's a very easy form. And Box is this company based out of Silicon Valley, and they're giving out grants, and it's for global, like as long as you have a registered, like a charity status in which in India, like you can apply for this grant because it's a global grant. They also want to see the use of generative AI, and they haven't really mentioned that it has to be Box, like you have to be using Box. You can use generative AI, like you can probably say, I want to use generative AI for writing grant proposals or creating this thing. So they'll give you money to maybe like a generative AI budget for your organization. So they haven't specified like that it has to be Box, because I know Box is also giving, they have a AI feature in their own application. So take a look at this grant for sure. And it takes now 5 minutes or to write it down, like even with updates and going back and forth with the first draft, maximum 30 minutes, and you're done with grant writing. And you don't need to know the art of grant writing at all. The knowledge has been baked into this. We also create grant reports. So once you get money, you have to write grant reports. So there's a whole system built for that. A lot of organizations want a letter of intent first, then only they release their grant application form. They say, submit us a letter of intent, why you want the money. And once you clear that first step, then they invite you to apply for a full grant, So that's a letter of intent as well. So our goal is to really enable change makers. Like they shouldn't be sitting and writing grants, but they need the funds. And so we want to help them get that money, and we're going to build everything that's needed to help them get that money. So there are a couple of other ideas on the roadmap that we want to build to just strengthen this whole thing. One is including looking for grants, like searching for grants, but also project ideas. Sometimes we need help with project ideas and stuff. So we have all of that feature on the roadmap. Yeah, at this point of time, I would just say, ask any questions you have. Like, I'm happy to take on any questions.
I think there's a lot of very interesting things. Of course, I think the most amusing part was how the songs came out. But the most valuable part, I think, is what we just saw now is the power of AI to really save time in terms of the documentation that needs to be created and so on and so forth. Any questions? Do you have questions?
So one thing we are seeing this proposal making is a kind of help for us when we have a limited resources. When I was going through the plan of this Grant Orb, so the learning plan is around $190. So the cost is at part to 98,000. So when we say we have a limited resources, are we ready to pay around 98,000 for just building a single proposal? And that also we are not sure because nowadays every organization has a different kind of templates. And apart from that, the human intelligence which we were talking yesterday, the template and designing is fine, but when we say to the extent of creating an impact at the doorstep delivery to the participant families, in that case, are we in a position to pay this much from? Because what I would do, maybe I'll hire a professional, say around 50 or 60,000, then I can have n number of proposals coming out of this. So that's what I feel. So either it has to be kind of cost effective, where the NGOs or a small organization can avail this facility. Otherwise, again, it will become a kind of surveillance facility to the topmost NGOs or the people who can afford it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, this
it's a basic plan.
It's a basic plan. We actually increased the pricing of our single proposal generation because we launched this product in Jan at the start of this year, and what we saw was a lot of skepticism around whether AI can really write a proposal. And we're like, okay, what if you get AI plus human with my my assistance as well? And so that it actually includes 30 minutes of my time. And we increased the price for that because we wanted to build the trust with AI. And so AI writes the proposal, but you can chat with me about the proposal and anything else that you want to do. But this was actually to build the trust with AI. And this pricing is mostly aimed at North America because in the way the grant space is highly competitive. And it is highly competitive. A lot of small organizations, surprisingly, our customers are all small organizations. I thought they'll be big organizations, but they're all small because they've always struggled to get grants funding, and they've never had time. The executive directors don't have time to sit and write grants. Most of the nonprofits are run by volunteers, so they don't even have full-time people. They sometimes come on Saturday to do the work, or they have not something else running full time. And so they always had the disadvantage in terms of not getting the grant funding, even if that money is available. And big organizations can afford to have people, or they hand it out to consultants, and consultants charge a lot of money. So this is a really great deal for a lot of our North American nonprofits. And I understand it could be a bit for India. If anybody wants to try it out, I'm happy to offer it at a really deep discount for anybody. My goal, as I said, is always to enable the grassroots people, and I wanted the pricing to be accessible for everybody.
So I think we can we will share Deepa's contact information with everybody who's on the listing. So anybody who wants to take this forward, explore more, explore pricing and other features or whatever else, maybe we can take it offline after the conference is over. We'll share Deepa's contact. So,
yeah, feel free to reach out. My goal is to really empower y'all and also to make you comfortable. As I said, that the first learning plan is from our experience of interacting with the market, and it has been it's the first year of AI, and people are still not sure about AI. But actually, I've written many proposals, and I've seen proposals written by GrantOrb, and they're high quality, even better than the ones that I've written. So I have full faith in the AI, but a lot of people are skeptical about it. So it comes with human plus AI touch.
There is one question, another question here. I think Sudhata, your question of cost is kind of answered. There is a question here: can it cite studies or in the intro or rationale?
Sorry, I didn't. Can it?
1 second. There's a question which says, can GrantOrb also cite studies in the introduction or in the rationale?
Yeah. In the problem statement, yes. So that's a feature we are shipping in December, where it will cite. Right now, what we were saying is, if you can provide the data points and the citation was something that we had not included because we wanted that to be grounded in factual information. But we built in that capability now, and we'll be pushing out that feature where it will cite like the data and provide citations that where this data comes from. So whenever you state a problem, like this is the problem I'm trying to solve, it's very important that you make it compelling by providing the data around the problem. That X number of people, like 2.6 billion people, don't have access to toilets. That makes it very compelling. And now, where does this data come from? That needs to be cited. Otherwise, it could be fluff, right? So like the World Bank. So that kind of citations and data we're going to be adding in by next week, actually.
Wonderful. Any more questions? Yeah, Anil, yes, 1 second.
What's a good product to use when you want to convey design of products? So let's say you want to do grant funding or creating a new product design. Which of the types of products will actually show those designs where you verbalize it and then they can craft it out into a design? Is that available through AI? That's point two is also if you're doing research proposals, is there an app that's suitable for research proposals as well? These are the two things I want to mention.
So I did get your first part. Could you repeat it for me?
Yeah. So let's say I'm doing a grant where I'm talking about creating a new product.
Okay.
Let's say it's a new product for an agricultural end use, for example. And I have conceived the entire product, but the cost to get it designed is high. So is there a more economical way using AI where you can get the basic designs done based on verbal explanation of the product? Using AI.
I couldn't, your voice was echoing. So
I said, is there an AI tool where you can use the AI tool to get a product design based on a verbal description of the product?
You can use Claude for it or ChatGPT for sure.
Okay, so they will do that as well.
Yeah, you could. Like, you definitely try Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Like, see, within these chat bots, there are different models and models of different capabilities. So if you're using Claude, make sure it's 3.5 Sonnet, and it actually draws out the whole map for you sometimes, like if you instruct it to.
Okay, thanks.
In fact, I think we may ask the same question to Yogesh, Dr. Yogesh Kulkarni, who is going to be doing the next session later on, because he has a background in machine mechanical engineering and so on. So I think he might be able to give another perspective on what could be used as well. Okay, so thanks a lot so much from all of us here in India, Deepa. Really grateful for you to have waited for us late in the night and given us an introduction to how you have discovered the power of AI to use in your own work, and then also created a valuable product. I know it's in the early stages and so on, but I think the promise is very visible in the demonstration that you gave us today. So thanks once again, and on behalf of all of us, all the very best, and we'll stay in touch with you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. I think I'm also part of the WhatsApp group, so you can just tag me and reach out over there.